Never mind.
Hello, hello. What is up,
What up,
everybody?
bro? Going
What's
on with?
not much, man? How you doing, bro?
Hey, man, just another week in the books, man. Trying to keep it moving, trying to
Yeah,
keep it positive.
yeah. I see you got the what the map in the back.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's the map of the world map, man, and the black finish.
You know where you got that from?
Um, Man, to tell you the truth, maybe like Black Lion or somewhere like that.
Okay.
You ever heard of that?
No.
Black Lion is like a modern furniture and home goods store. So it's a like modern type of furniture and pictures and stuff like that.
That's the big money store.
Nah, hey, that's
See, we go
little
to
little money.
we go to Michael's. You know, we need some new
Ah,
decorations around the house. We hit up Michael's or TJ Maxx. You know what I mean?
yeah, dog. I like both of them. I like Michaels. I mean, I was an art major, so like, we would have to get supplies from Michaels.
Yeah, but you was buying the expensive top of the line.
Hey, whatever they had me buy. That's what I had to get.
Yeah, you was one of those polo guys. I was the USPA, U.S. Polo Assassin. You know what I'm talking about?
Hey, you knew what it was though. I mean, you know what I'm saying. I mean, I didn't want to wear that, but hey,
No, that's good, man. Them polo stuff, I never was too expensive, man. I maybe got like one polo, man, and that was it. I wear it out like a couple times a month because back in the day, back in high school, people used to, if you wear something a couple times a week, people you just wore that last week. And I'm like, dang, I can't even live.
got a lady won't let you live. Yo, my aunt used to live. My aunt used to work in this. It might have been like a polo factory or like a warehouse in High Point, North Carolina, yo. And she would send me and my brother stuff. So like I remember having the polo rugby joint with the number on the back.
So
With
Auntie
the
was the plug.
Yeah, she was the plug, yo. So like, you know what I'm saying? We would get that good stuff and I mean we couldn't afford it like that, but since she worked there, she would look out and you know what I mean? That's how we pulled it off.
I love it, man. I love it. Yeah, no, I remember I used to have the oh man, what we call it? The Fubu. I used to have Fubu, Kuji, academics. I had the Fubu shoes, the shiny shoes with the
Bro,
straps on it.
I never had FUBU.
Yeah, I don't know if I got the best rap, but I thought they looked cool, so I used to wear them.
I mean, hey, whatever floated your boat. I was more of a loner, so like, I just wore stuff that I liked for me. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
wasn't I wasn't a big follower of what people wore like that, but if it made me feel good, that's what I wore.
no, I definitely had that phase, bro. Like that phase that everybody wanted to be, I guess hood almost, man. I remember I had cornrows. I don't know what I was thinking, man. I'm not even joking. That's why my hairline the way it is now, man. Because the cornrows used to go
Hey,
get them. Them Ethiopians used to braid my hair and then be pulling my roots out.
hey, you gonna blame them?
I'm gonna blame them. I ain't gonna blame genetics. Yeah,
Hey,
but
I had cornrows, man. I used to have my hair braided. Hey, they must have took it light on my joint.
yeah, must have, man. But my things used to be tight. You last about a month before they start getting all the frizzy and stuff. But yeah,
Oh yeah, yes sir. Yes sir. Hey, those were the good old days. You had to start. You didn't probably didn't have a starter jacket, did you?
I didn't have a starter jacket. No, I did when I was growing up. When I was younger, and I was like elementary school time when I had a starter jacket.
Dog, if you had that Georgetown or if you had that Raiders starter jacket, bro, man, you was that dude, yo. You hear me? Like that dude. And I mean, youngins don't know about them starter jackets now. Yo, Cass was getting like robbed for them starter jackets, bro.
Yeah, you definitely starting to date yourself now. I mean, but people was getting Our big thing was the J's, well shoes, Jordans and like foam posits. People used to go out, buy a ticket early and then show up and be waiting outside to buy their shoes. Never did that. Me personally, never did that.
Oh no, I wasn't a guy that waited in line either, yo. If I couldn't get them some other kind of way, or you know what I'm saying, I ain't trying to stand in line. And most of the time I had them like, when Jordan was playing, you know what I'm saying, I was a kid. So like, I mean, I probably had them anyway.
Right,
It was just like I'm not gonna go wait in line at 6 a.m. in the morning and the store open at 10.
bro. 100%, man. 100%. Yeah, no, I never did that. I used to buy the team Jordans. You know what
Oh,
I'm talking
we wore them in JUCO. When I was in JUCO in Maryland, we wore Team Jordans.
Yeah,
So
I was Team
yeah,
Jordan. Cheaper, man. I can't pay $200 for no shoes. Just
hey,
because you bring it, and then your foot grows, and then like what, 2 years later, you a different size. Yeah, couldn't
a
do it.
year later.
Yeah, couldn't do it. So I stuck to my couple shoes, bro. But yeah, man. But anywho, man, you about ready to jump in?
Man, let's do it, yo.
Awesome, awesome. So welcome everybody. This is episode number 3 of Assets Over Money. Today we are going to be talking about working harder on yourself as opposed to working hard on your job. And I guess, man, story behind that, we have a few topics that a lot of topics that we put together, and we put a vote. It was like, hey, we're stuck in between 3. It was like, hey, let's take a poll, put it on Instagram. The people voted. I thought it was going to go a different way. But it actually went this way, and I'm actually happy to talk about this as well too. But yeah, I'm very, very excited to talk about it. So just kind of precursor, we came up with 5 different, I guess, topics or 5 different ways that you can work harder on yourself as opposed to working on your job, right? And we'll dive into each one of those. But number 1 is invest in personal development, so bettering yourself. Number 2 is setting personal goals. Number 3 is creating a daily routine for self-growth, or really just a daily routine in general. Number 4 is surrounding yourself with growth-minded people. So you got to surround yourself with like-minded individuals. And number 5 is mastering time management. So those are all pretty important to kind of what we put our heads together, the 5 things that we could kind of think of to make it easy, digestible for you guys. So we'll kind of jump into the first one. So investing in the personal development. Kevin, you want to kick it off?
So I got my daughter here.
Oh,
She wanted to say hello to everybody. Look, you can see his
hello,
bed.
hello.
So say hey to Mr. Richard.
Hi.
What's up? What's
All
up?
right, thank you. All right, go. I'll get you.
Why don't hat on?
Because I'm recording. Can you see that?
I'm recording too.
Go somewhere. Good night. Goodbye. Bye. Don't have no kids, man.
Hey, man, I got one coming on with the 28th, man.
Hey, man. Then they get this size, and then it's just they don't listen. They don't do what you tell them to do.
Yeah.
Nothing. Go somewhere.
No.
Let me finish. Put it. Carl. Thank you. Go in there. Let me
Push
finish.
me.
No. Go.
Okay,
Say bye to Mr. Richard.
bye. Okay,
Bye.
Now move, big fella.
Go.
Okay, now move, big fella.
See, this is what I'm talking about, man. Don't listen. Man, hey. I know you about to have that boy, yo. This is why probably God didn't give me no boy. Because I'd have probably had to beat his brains out. Go.
If
Charlie,
you had a boy,
thank you. Let me finish. I'll come back in there in a little bit, okay?
If I had a brother,
I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of funny, man. But it is awesome. It's a blessing still, man.
Man, oh, bro. Hey, listen, when we first tried to have kids, they told us that we wouldn't be able to have, right?
Yeah.
And so we're going to go through IVF, if you ever heard of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so when a woman goes through IVF, their body is put through like traumatizing type pain because they're getting poked and prodded the whole time, right? And so once I found that out, I was like, nah, we're not going to go that route. And we just end up praying about it, man. And God, that's what God provided, bro.
It's a blessing, man.
Yeah, so she's like a miracle baby, bro. So like, my only one, man.
Yeah.
My only one, and that's the only one we're gonna have, bro. So, I'm thankful for her, but let's get back to it. My
Yeah.
fault.
Yeah, bro, you good. But now, yeah, man, number 1, invest in personal development. I was gonna ask you want to kick that one off?
Yeah, man. I mean, I think investing in personal development, man. I mean, understanding what you like and what floats your boat, right? So a lot of people get caught up in the, riding life in autopilot and just following what society tells them to do. Like a lot of times when your parents, we come from the era where we were told, go to school, get good grades so you can go to college and get a job for life. I was taught that, right? And so if you don't know to try to work on yourself, all you're going to do is try to go out and get that job, try to make good grades, try to have this perfect life, but you will not be living the life that you want. So if you want to, invest in personal development, I mean, you want to understand exactly your likes and dislikes, what makes you go, what makes you stop. I mean, you want to learn more than about what's going on at your job. I mean, because like Jim Rohn, that's the first time I heard that phrase, work on yourself harder than you do at your job. I had to kind of sit back and kind of understand, like, most people don't even try to develop. They just they get to a certain place and they're fine, and they don't think they have to grow anymore. And it's like, if you're not growing, you're dying. And so I
Yeah.
took art. And so like that personal development is major, because if you don't know yourself, how can you be good for anyone else? You know what I mean? So like going to workshops and being able to get around people who are like-minded, being able to be a continuous learner, right? So like when I played ball in school, they always talked about being a student of the game. And I never really understood that for, at first.
Mm.
But now that I get that, I mean, you want to be a student of life, right? Of yourself, and being able to learn you and what makes you go, and the things that you like and the way you want to live. Because we a lot of us just go on autopilot, and that's just coasting through life, man. And you know, more than likely they're upset or they're mad because of the job they go to, and they never take the time to basically develop themselves, that personal development, being a better person, right? Because I mean, you can go hard. We go out here and go to work 40, 50 hours a week at a job and try to impress them and try to get this bonus and try to get this, get promoted. But we never think about the person that we are and growing as a person. So that personal development is major. Trying to be successful and trying to do the things that you want to do in life. I mean, it's major to be able to work on yourself more than you do on your job. So I mean, I love this topic.
Yeah, man, and I would add to that too as well, man. I think all those are solid. I think that it really just starts with, I don't know, aligning really your passions with your lifestyle. So the things that you want to do. And I think that this topic, working hard on yourself, as opposed to your job, it doesn't mean, you go to, you stop going to work, or you go to work and you put in, half effort and don't really give a crap.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, right, that is if you're in that position, if you're in that season of life, that is your responsibility. That is how you are putting, bread on the table. So that is not what that means. What it does mean is you do focus on, your job, but when your job is over, now you can focus on the things that are the areas that you want to grow. And I think within that personal development, the reason why we put this number one is because it starts with you. You have to decide like what you want to be, the goals that you want to focus on, what you're passionate about, and make that your goal, right? Because at birth, these are one of my favorite quotes. I've heard it a few different times for a couple of different podcasts, but basically I was listening to it and he was like, think about, he's talking to the crowd, forgot his name. He was basically like, what is your dream? Everybody in the crowd, think about what your dream is, what your goal is, right? And I'm like, okay, put it together. Everybody's thinking. He was like, okay, now think about how much money you want to make. And he's like, all right, shout out some numbers. So some people were shouting out, $1 million, $2 billion, $4 billion, whatever it is. And he said, okay, now I want you guys to hear me out here. He's like, imagine that you had that money, right? You had the opportunity to make that money. And what you guys need to understand is each one of you are walking around with $1 million check above your head, or $2 million, $3 billion, whatever the amount of money is. It's just on you to go get it, right? You have to go climb that ladder to actually reach that money. And it's on you to do it. Nobody else is going to hand it to you. It's not just going to fall. The check ain't just going to fall. It's going to land in your lap. You have to, go get that ladder, put that ladder up, set that ladder up, and climb up each rung to reach the goal that you want to reach. And when I think about personal development, that's where I think it starts, because I guess it's not necessarily about like, again, the end result, right? It's about the journey. So climbing up each of those rungs are lessons, right? There's a failure. A rung might break. You might like break and fall down a couple steps, right? But you can put it back together and continue to grow. And that's something that I would say I truly love.
Man, yeah, dog. I mean that's major. I mean, like I said, one of my favorite quotes was, if you want to go somewhere you've never been, you got to become someone you've never been.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, because that just doesn't happen overnight, right? I mean, if you want to live a certain type of life, you got to become that type of person to get that life. You know what I mean? And it's not just given to you. So you have to be able to basically run a check on yourself, right? On your
Yeah.
mind, body, the type of person you are. I mean, I'm thinking about myself. You know, I used to have a very bad attitude. I didn't know how to communicate with people. I would overreact at things. You know, all the hood traits that come with that, right?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, like you couldn't talk to me without saying the wrong thing and me getting angry, me overreacting about something that you may have said but didn't mean. You know what I mean? Any of that stuff. Understanding who you are and being able to be a better version of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Becoming the best version of yourself is major in my world. You know what I mean? Because if you don't have that growth mindset, more than likely you're playing a victim. And you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I don't, me personally, I don't like to be around victims because that negative energy will consume you. So you got to know exactly who you need to be around, when you need to be around them, and you know how you're supposed to work moving forward to get to the place you want to be.
Yeah, man. I think that's solid, man. And it's 100% correct too, man. And I think, yeah, really, the last thing I'd add to that, man, it made me think as you were talking is like before you can before you can go anywhere, you have to determine what you want to do, right? So like before you can drive somewhere, you got to determine what car you're going to take, right? So everybody has a vehicle that they decide to get in. You know, it's just really on them to to make their journey to that destination. Example today, I talked with like at West Point we call students cadets. I was talking with a couple of cadets today. Anytime I get an opportunity to talk to them, I like to work with them beyond of what they have going on at school. I ask them about, what are some of your goals financially? What do you want to do with your life? What are the things that you are working on? And one of them came to speak with me today about real estate. And before we even jumped into anything, I was like, hey, man, like 100% understand you want to get into real estate, but what's more important is what are your goals? Because you want to get into real estate, that can be anything. You can get into
Right.
so many different fields. You can get into you can get into whatever you want, right? But what's more important is what are your goals? What do you want to be? Because real estate may not be the best path for you to get there. If you say I want to be a CEO of a Fortune 500 company, then maybe investing in real estate isn't necessarily going to get you to being a CEO of a Fortune 500 company. Not to say you can't do it, but it's important to understand where you kind of start. And I would say that kind of is a good caveat into even number two, right? Setting clear personal goals. So it's very, very important that you have goals that you're setting before you do anything. A lot of us, and I would say in general, man, I'm still guilty of this today. Sometimes I'll just get into hustle mode. I'll just start doing multiple things. There was a time in the last like 4 years. Well, yeah, back in 2020, when I first delved into real estate, I started making a little bit of money. And then I started diving into a couple other arenas, man. And look, like 2-3 years later, I found myself trying to like run and manage and like start like three different businesses at the same time. It doesn't work. Like I was
Right.
spreading myself too thin because I was in hustle mode. I knew what my goal was. My goal was to be financially retired by 30. And as opposed to going and putting in all my effort into one arena, I started diving into all these other arenas and started seeing a little bit of success within those. And what I found is it wasn't really putting me any closer to where I wanted to be because I was spreading myself too thin, right? And I was like, okay, this is the next thing. This is shiny object syndrome. This is the next hot thing. Okay, this is making me a little bit money. Okay, this is making me a little bit of money. And yeah, I just wasn't focused, Oops, still there? Might have froze out on me. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna jump in for a little bit until he pops back on. Oop.
Rich,
Yep, I got you, brother.
I don't know why that just went out like that. I got a phone call and it just went out. But yeah, man. I mean, dog, you can't. I mean, I understand that being a jack of all trade. You know what I mean? I mean, and a master of none. I
Yeah.
used when I first started real estate. I used to try to do the work on my own, and you know what I'm saying. Like you waste more time trying to do everything on your own versus just having one solid aspect of whatever you're gonna do, right? I mean, you're trying to be the manager, you're trying to be the bat catcher, you're trying to be the pitcher, the shortstop, and the first
Yeah.
baseman. And you can't work it like that. You got to be able to delegate and be able to plan out accordingly. So I mean, it's tough when you don't have clear goals set in place. You kind of go everywhere, and so like it's tough because I mean it's almost like a boat with no captain, right? And if you set a boat loose at the dock and you start it up and let it go, it might end up anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no captain at the helm. But if you have a captain in place and you know where your destination is and the things you have to do during the process, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna land at that place. You know what I mean? So like having those clear cut goals set, I think is major. I have to, even me, I fall short of goal setting a lot of times. I mean, but last few years I've been setting goals at the beginning of the year and trying to follow them. But I could even be better at goal setting. You know what I'm saying? And really, really focusing in on the goals that we set early in the year. But just being consistent with it. You know what I mean? Like me thinking about myself, I was trying to do flooring. I was trying to do the paint for the houses. I was doing all these different things. I mean, I didn't know how to lay tile, but I was trying to learn. You know what I'm saying? So I was
Mhm.
trying to do everything and be able to go get the deal. And I had to kind of understand, like, nah, that's what the budget is for, right? So if you're buying real estate the right way, you have a budget. You have a budget to pay those contractors. So you're not spending time doing that work and wasting that time. You have to be focused on doing other deals. So, just understanding how things work and putting things in perspective, I think is major, man.
Yeah, yeah, man. And it really is, man. And I think a few folks out there too who could be thinking about how do I set, goals? How do I know what my goals are? A lot of folks may not even know what they want to do, right? But want to have that entrepreneurial spirit, but want to go ahead and pursue those things. And I think it really starts with, and I say this all the time, it starts with really one, just knowing what your passions are, or really just knowing what you like to do. Everybody likes to do something, and you can get paid millions and millions of dollars to do the thing that you like. There are literally kids on YouTube getting paid millions of dollars to review toys. There's people getting paid to eat random snacks and things like that. We see the craziest things that we see on YouTube or Facebook Reels or whatever it is, and people are getting literally paid to live out their passions. You can. Why can't you? Ask yourself why can't you? Right. And I think with that, man, it really if you're kind of stuck on where to kind of start with as far as like actionable steps for setting your personal goals, I would say think about all the areas of your life. I talk about it all the time. The 5 F's and a P. So you have your faith, family, fitness, franchise, finances, and then P is personal. So look at those 6 areas, write them down, and then say, okay, what kind of faith do I want to have? What kind of relationship with God do I want to have? Okay, family wise, what kind of man or woman do I want to be? Do I want to be the head of the household? Do I want to be XYZ? What kind of lifestyle do you want to live in that family aspect? Finance, same thing. How much money do I have currently, right? You should be looking at your bank account every day. If you're striving to do more, you need to be aware of where exactly you're at financially. Yeah. And then I would say for, franchise wise, business wise, what kind of goals do you have for your business? And things like that. And then personally, what are some things personally? Because your mental health 100% matters. So where are you at personally? Every week you have to sit down, or even a few times a day, sit down and kind of take a check on your brain, on your mental health, and say, okay, how am I doing? What goals do I want to achieve? Am I putting myself closer to my goals, or am I spreading myself too thin?
Right, right. No, I agree with that completely, man. I mean, even with your health, I mean, like, just not mental health, but just health all around. You know what I mean? Because if you're not healthy, then you're not good for anybody. You know what I'm saying? So having those health goals set, I mean, if you want to lose weight at the beginning of the year, whatever you want to do, I mean, setting those goals from the start, man, and being consistent and sticking with them. I think that's major when it's, just finding who you are and developing the life you want to develop. You have to
Yeah,
take category by category and break it down. I mean,
exactly.
like I wanted, I want to live a certain type of way. You know what I mean? I want cash flow coming in every single month. I want to be able to live off of my assets. Um, and I want to make sure that I have a legacy for my family. So I have to be able to put those aspects into place and prioritize. So, I mean, everybody has something that they want. They just have to think about it and sit down and kind of focus on what it is, because most of us don't even think about it.
Yeah. And as soon as you write it down, as soon as you write that down and know exactly what you're wanting to do, you don't know, but like psychologically, you are putting yourself closer to those goals. It's important to journal. even as men, it's very important that we're journaling, right? Because we have a lot of thoughts that are going on in our head. We have things that we want to do. And it's good at the end of the day to just write down and be like, all right, how did my day go? What are three wins? One of the things that I do 100% do a better job at it is journaling, right? Self-reflecting, right? And that became really a part of, I guess, my routine, but it helps me put myself closer to my goals because every day I'm taking a check. I'm like, all right, what are three good things that happened today? What things that I have issues with? Why am I having issues with them? What is a way that I can go about tomorrow to make these issues better? And I'll tell you, I used to be 100% against journaling. Like, no joke. I used to think it was silly. I was like, why am I writing? Like, writing this as a diary. Diaries are for girls. Like, I'm not into none of this stuff, right? But when I started doing it, I'm like, man, it's actually helpful. It helpful, and it also feels good too to put my thoughts on paper. And I can, like, essentially I'm in battle with myself because I'm like, all right, I'm writing down this. Okay, I want to do this. This is what this happens. And I start to figure things out, or I can ask questions, or I can really just better articulate my thoughts by putting them on paper and something I can go back to and reflect on.
Man, reflection is major, man. I mean, I have, I journal as well. So I feel you on, not being like a girl and feeling like it's a diary or something like that. But since I've done it, I mean, I've journaled for probably about 15 years, maybe. You know what I'm saying? So like I can look back on some of my older journals and look at the things that I was thinking about or I was saying and the direction I was going at the time and kind of reflect on that and where I am now and kind of see the growth. You know what I mean? So like just celebrating those small wins is major. You know what I'm saying? When you have that journal to look back on and be able to follow those goals and what you're looking to do, man. So I mean, I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah. I think, man, it's easy to make that a part of a routine, which is a good caveat to number 3, create a daily routine for self-growth, or really just creating a routine in general. And that routine, it's just very, very important. You don't obviously, anybody who is successful, anybody who's making a lot of money, they have a routine. It doesn't have not like a crazy long drawn out list of where I do X, Y, Z or 100 things in 20 minutes or whatever. But everybody has some type of routine. For example, like my routine is I get up during the weekdays. Weekdays and weekends are a little bit different, but I get up during the weekdays at 4 a.m. I'm in the gym by 4:30. While I'm in the gym, I put some music on, but I also listen to like motivational topics. Y'all know I'm a very motivational person, very highly motivated, always happy, always positive. That's because, well, for a couple of different reasons, but that's because that's what I'm always putting into my brain is positivity. If you're surrounded by positivity long enough, you can't help but be a little bit positive. But after the gym, I come back, take a shower, and then I go right to the prayer closet. Take out my Bible, spend some time with the Lord. I got a whole little routine. I light a candle. You know what I mean? I say a little prayer before I walk in. I walk in, sit down, smells good, the mood's right. Sometimes I might even put on some music or whatever, and I spend time with the Lord. After that, I have my little journal, and try to spend at least 5 to 10 minutes of just journaling. I'll read a little motivational quote with some reflection and just write about some of the things that I want to do today or some of the things that I am just happy about or things that are a blessing to me. What am I glad at, or what is something that is beneficial to me? Go to work, obviously. And in between time, we can talk about that a little bit later, about time management, about some things to do in between work. But yeah, once I come home from work, we know from 5 to 7 is real estate time, and that's me focused on business building. My wife and I, she'll sit right across me. We have her in our office. We'll focus on real estate, business building. We'll take a break, go eat dinner, and then right around 8:30, I come back to right around 10 p.m. and I do more things in real estate. Right. So first half, 5 to 7 is me working within the business. So I'm doing business building tasks such as making phone calls, talking to people, setting up meetings, things like that. And then from right around 8:30 to 10 is usually me working on the business, right? So what are things, how can I take this business to the next level? Answering emails, admin, things of that nature. But that's kind of like my routine during the week. And then on the weekends, we have a little different routine I won't go to. But yeah, man, flipping it back on you, brother.
Man, I mean, that routine is major. I mean, having that routine, because here's the thing, if you don't take advantage and plan your own routine, you can have your own routine doing something else and it's not even productive for you, right?
Yeah.
So you got positive hypnotic rhythm and negative hypnotic rhythm. So
Ooh.
you got to realize if you get up and you're doing the same thing over and over and over every day, and it's not a place where how you want to live, then that's negative hypnotic rhythm for you. You're doing you're doing yourself a disservice because yo, my mom keeps blowing my phone up, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like
We got to
all
get you, bro. We got to get you a laptop, man, in a camera.
I mean, hey, my camera went out on my laptop, bro. So
Dang.
I'm straight iPhoning it. But you know, we working on it, bro. We working
Yeah.
on it, man. But yeah, I mean, so you have to put that in the perspective, right? You have to put the fact that if I don't create this positive routine for myself, then more than likely I'm gonna have this negative routine, right? So
Yeah.
whether it's getting up, brushing your teeth, going to work, going to a job that you don't like to go to, being upset because you got to be there, and you're doing that every day, I mean, you're not growing, you're not journaling. You know what I'm saying? You're just in this negative hypnotic rhythm where more than likely you're upset.
Yep.
So, you know what I mean? You have to put that in as that aspect in the works, because no different than what you do. I get up every morning, I go to the gym, I get my daughter to school, I come eat breakfast. By 9 a.m., I've already showered. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to go for the day. I have a set time to make my calls, set appointments. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even praying, you know what I mean? Having that motivational time, being able to listen to music if I want to do that in the gym. But, all that happens before 9 o'clock. And so that's my routine, getting up and get going, and being able to carve out my day, whether I got appointments, whether I have calls to make, um, students to talk to. I mean, whatever it is that day, I try to get it already scheduled and already have that routine basically, so I can get my mental together. Because I mean, having that positive mentality and a mindset of go getting it, I think is major. Because if you don't, you can get caught. Like, I remember being at corporate America and going to my job at the Hartford, and I remember Sunday nights I would have so much anxiety going in on Monday, right? I didn't have any type of routine set up far as working out that morning. I didn't have, anything positive that I was working on going towards my goals. It was just all about going to that job, doing what they wanted me to do, and getting off that day, starting it all over the next day. The new route, you know what I'm saying? It was all just a
Yeah.
routine over and over and over and over. And until I had to kind of say, you know what, that's not the way I want to live. I'm going to start doing this, this, and this. And I'm going to go for what I know. You know what I mean? I'm going to bet on myself versus going in here having this negative hypnotic rhythm and put myself in a place where I'm just upset and frustrated. And, I'm not growing. So when
Yep.
you have those positive um, routines daily, I mean, it calms your mind to a certain, I
Yeah.
don't even know how to explain it, but it just calms you in a
Yeah.
certain way, ready to go and get you
Yeah.
ready for the day.
Yeah. Man, and just to kind of add to that, man, I think you said something that was key too. There in the middle, and then there again at the end, that routine, because discipline is 100%, like, it's, you need to be disciplined in whatever you're doing, right? So even on days where you feel like, as long as you have something that you can fall back on, that's the important piece. Because we all have the same days where we have really bad days, we have really, really good days. If you can fall back on your habits, if you can fall back on your routine, then that gives you some type of clarity. It gives you peace, and it makes you feel like, okay, I accomplished this. And your routine doesn't have to be anything crazy to start. If it's, I wake up every morning and I make my bed, that is a start, and that is something that you do and that you can build on. It's like, all right, today was a terrible day, but at least I made my bed in the morning. I come back home to go to bed, and I have a made bed. At least my room looks clean, right? So
Right.
whatever your I guess your habits are, whatever your routine is, just start with one thing. If you don't have one, if it's hard, start with one thing. Everybody can wake up in the morning and make their bed. You can. I don't think that
See,
everybody should start getting up. If you don't go to the gym, maybe don't set a routine. Hey, I go to the gym every day. Maybe as opposed to doing that, maybe I walk a certain distance every day. Maybe I walk half a mile, or maybe I go to the gym and walk on a treadmill just to kind of get started, build that habit up, and then you can kind of put more onto it. But I thought that was key, bro. I really do. I love that you said that.
man, you got discipline or you got regret, right? Discipline weighs ounces, regret weighs tons. And
Mm-hmm.
you got to understand, like, hey, you're going to be disciplined at doing the things you want to do to get where you want to go, or you're going to be regretful when you get to that certain age and you look back and you think, well, I didn't do anything to get to that point. and you're upset and you're regretting. So that regret is going to weigh tons in your mind and your life. But see, that discipline weighs ounces. So that's
Yeah,
why I saw it important be more disciplined than than regretful.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah, man. And I guess, man, it's a good time to move over to number 4. We got about 20 minutes left. So, number 4 is surrounding yourself with growth minded people. And really, the intent of number 4 is your environment. We talked on this a little bit in the last episode, but your environment is so important into shaping who you are. And you have a lot more control of your environment than you believe. That's not necessarily, where you're growing up in. Obviously, you can't change that. But when you're at school or when you're at work, you can know who you can associate with, right? Perfect example is a workplace. We all know the people at work who complain about everything.
Right,
It could be
right.
a beautiful day outside, 70 degrees. It's like, oh, it's too hot, or this is going on, or I got this going on. Stay away from those people. If you see negative people, literally run from them. That is not going to do anything but hurt you, man. Focus around positive people. People tell me all the time, I'm extremely positive. Some people think I'm too positive. I'd rather be way too positive than negative, because life is truly a blessing. Like life, it is such a blessing. The fact that you are alive, the fact that you can move your arms, the fact that you woke up this morning and you can breathe. Some people didn't wake up this morning. So you should be focused and happy about the things that you have the ability to do, other than, people who don't have that same ability. People would literally die to be in the same position that you're in, but you are too busy focused on the bad thing that's going on. But your environment is so key. The more people you associate with, the better you become. The fact I met Kevin, man, again, we met each other in a real estate group that we're in. Found out there were more alike than not. Met up. We're in the same fraternity. Crazy, didn't even know that. Both in real estate, both making big moves, both have similar goals. That wouldn't have happened if I wasn't essentially in that group. Association
Right.
is key.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. You think about how, like I said, I was raised in dysfunction. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody was upset. Everybody was cussing each other out. It was always something going on every day.
Yeah.
Right. So like, that negativity follows you, yo. That negative energy. I always talk about negative and positive energy, man. Like that energy is real. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, if you're around negativity, bro, it's hard to grow a rose out of a concrete cement block. You know what I'm saying? It's just tough to do that. So you have to be able to get around like-minded individuals. No different than what you just said, like the group that we were in, the sub 2 group in Pace Morby. I mean, being in that group helped both of us. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Tremendously. I'm in a few other groups too. But being around positive, like-minded people will lift you up versus pulling you down. You know what I'm saying? They're not worried about how much money you're making or in your pockets, because everybody's doing their own thing. You know what I mean? So they're not thinking about, hey, how much you're making this month. It's not about that. It's about everybody growing and having a growth mentality. We get to that place where, you're around negative people every single day, more than likely you're going to be negative. You know what I'm saying? If you're around people who are going to make $30,000 a year, more than likely you're going to make $30,000 a year.
Yep.
When Jay-Z, they had the thing about Jay-Z, and he said, hey, would you take the dinner with Jay-Z for 500,000? Well, for 500, or would you take a dinner with Jay-Z or take a $500,000 check, right? And a lot of people were saying, hey, I would Jay-Z. And I would probably take the dinner with Jay-Z too, especially if I could grow a relationship, right? Because
Hmm.
relationships are everything. And having that relationship where someone has been where you're trying to go is major. But I also thought about taking the 500,000.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So who's to say I'm gonna be around Jay like that? More than likely, I'm not. So I'm gonna take that five more than likely. But my point is just being, if I could be around him more and be around the people that he's around, I would want to be in that group, right?
Yeah.
Because I know what they've already done, and I know where they're headed. If you want to live like that, then you want to put yourself around people like that, because your sphere of influence is only so big, right? So it's more than likely the people that you know right off, they don't want to do the things you want to do. So you have to be able to connect with people outside of your influence, your sphere of influence, to be able to scale and be able to do the things and live the way you want to do. Like we're doing multifamily now, right? I did residential from '06 to now. I still do residential, right? But we started doing more commercial 2.5 years ago. I, it's crazy because like when you're doing commercial deal, I was looking at a commercial deal the day that I offered on. It was $30 million. We need $12 million to close it. People in my sphere of influence, where I grew up from, they don't know nothing about $12 million,
Yeah.
right? You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
I have to go out here and connect with other people that are like minded, that understand what I do, and that are already doing it for me to do that. So like it's mandatory for you to go the places that you want to go, that you get around the people that you need to get around to get there. I mean, it's just major.
Yeah. And man, and I love that, man. And with that, your association with good, when people know, again, when people know your goals, when people know your dreams, you will find that you will mysteriously start surrounding yourself with people who have those similar goals and dreams, or people who are doing better than you. Prime example: today we closed on two houses today, right? We signed the docs. We did it at I work on a military base, so it's hard to get on a military base. We had to get a mobile notary, which is mobile notary is a person who signs the documents for you to verify that you actually are closing the house and that kind of thing, right?
Right,
So
right,
she couldn't get on base. So I'm like, all right, let me see what I'm gonna do. So we went to the McDonald's that's right off post. Went to McDonald's. We're sitting there, a whole bunch of high school kids in there eating their snacks or whatever. And I'm just signing the documents, man. And we sign everything, we leave, and just the most amazing thing happened. As we're leaving, I rode my motorcycle. Rookie mistake, matter of fact, 'cause I had all the documents. I'm like, all right, where am I put these? But anyway, we're leaving the McDonald's. I'm out there. I'm going to my motorcycle, and a lady like comes out of the McDonald's, and she's parked right next to me. She's like, "Oh, it looks like you were signing some closing documents." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I am." She's like, "I'm a realtor out in Las Vegas. Like, I would love to give you my card and connect more. Are you an investor?" And I'm like, "Yes." Literally, the card right here. Met her today, and then we talked for a little bit, and then right after that, the lady who was parked on the other side of me was like, "Hey, can you do you have a card? I would love to stay in contact with you." I'm like, "Okay." I walk up to her, and she let me know that she was going through foreclosure and that she's thinking about selling her house and would love to hear my experience, or helping her sell her house, or potentially even selling her house to me out here in Highland Falls, which is right outside of West Point. And it's crazy. And that all is association, right? So you're letting people know what you do. There's no harm, there's no foul with the things that you're passionate about and the things that you're focused on. Only good things come about it, so long as you're letting people know what you're doing. And that was so I've never had nothing like that ever happen to me, or similar thing. Never had anything like that happen to me before. And I'm like, man, it's amazing. And that's all based around association, because I was in a freaking McDonald's in the middle of Highland Falls, right outside of West Point. Very wild.
right, right.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
but around that those people, man, is life changing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, having that positive influence, man, around folks that are doing what you're doing, and knowing the fact that I can rely on you to help me if I need that help. I mean, you don't get that in a negative environment. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's individuals and everybody's trying to do themselves. You know what I'm saying?
uh-huh.
When they, right? I mean, because I mean, coming from the hood, bro, like everybody's an individual, right? And I talked about this at a meeting that I was at yesterday, right? Like Kobe Bean Bryant said James Harden would never win a championship because he played hero ball.
Yep.
I was not a big Kobe Bryant fan, right?
I'm a huge Kobe. You see this? Yeah, I'm a huge Kobe fan.
Uh,
Yeah.
I'm not a Lakers fan, so I
Oh,
couldn't be a fan, right? Kobe was okay, but like I couldn't be a fan of his because he played for the Lakers his whole career.
yeah.
So like he always said, "Yo, James Harden will never win a championship," right? And so that's been so true because I'll take chemistry all day over talent. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the reason why Golden State was so good is because the chemistry they had together, Draymond, Clay, Steph, you can interchange anybody else, but as long as them guys are there and that chemistry is there, they're winning, bro. You can't never
Yeah.
count them. And so, like, being around people that understand, hey, I do this, I bring my own value to the table, and I can help you bring value to your table. I mean, that's major versus someone who's just going to get it scoring 30 and 10 and 10 every night. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? And I'd rather have that chemistry. Like I didn't learn team concept being from the hood. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? I didn't learn that. All I learned how to do was individual things. You got to do it yourself. No different than when I was first start flipping houses. I felt like I had to do all the work myself. But how can you scale when you're doing everything on your own? When you're doing everything on your own. And so that's so major being having that chemistry and a team that is around you that can lift you up when you need it.
Yeah. No, 100%, man. And that's solid. I seen a stat today when we talking about basketball. Danny Green retired, announced his retirement, and he won 3 championship rings with 3 different teams. You know what I mean?
That's
And he's not a star by any means or anything crazy. He's a great role player, right? He
that's
goes to teams and he fills the roles and he makes good things happen. Good things happen by association, just by being there, right? And as you're developing I guess your network, man, you're kind of like a integral part to that team. Your network is your team, whether it is people you actually partner with, whether it is people you have an accountability group. Those are kind of like your board, the board of your business, right? Because those are the people holding you accountable and making sure you're doing the things that you want to focus on and should be focusing on, right, to grow you and grow your business. But yeah, I'm gonna get ready to move on. We got about 10 minutes left. So number 5, the last one, is mastering time management. And I'll pass it to you, Kev. You want to hit on this first?
I mean, just time management, bro, just like prioritizing your task and what it's going to take for you to get to where you're going. Um, at the end of the day, is we only have 24 hours in a day. And so we all have the same time. It's not, you hear some people say, well, if I had more time, I would do this and this. We all have the same 24 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? So we don't get any more time than that. We have to be able to prioritize and to be able to delegate time slots, no different than our routines, right? So we both talked about how we have routines in the daytime and during the day. My time slots are 7 to 9 for working out.
Mm-hmm.
I do work I make calls from like 11 to like 2. I have appointments set from 9 to 11. I mean, everything is kind of blocked out already. So like I have to stay on task with those times and be able to delegate time for myself.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just about understanding, hey, I have to do this at this certain time, and this is what it is. This is my schedule, and sticking to that is major.
Yeah. Man, I love that, man. And it makes me think about, Jesse Stanton from Sub Two, or seen him?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Oh yeah, no, we talked. We talked before. Yeah, man. So Jesse, he had Jesse Stanton had a mentorship going on, right? And one of the things that he talked about within there was a lot of real estate related stuff, but there was also a lot of mental, like mindset, personal growth things that really resonated with me. And one of the things that he talked about with mastering time management is doing a time audit, right? And what that is whether you have a notebook, keep a notebook. Whether you have a sheet of paper, keep a sheet of paper. But what you do is from the time that you wake up to the time that you lay down and go to sleep, set a reminder in your phone for every hour. And every hour, write down exactly what you're doing when that alarm goes off. So you wake up in the morning, set that hour. If you're at the gym, you're at the gym. But more applicable when you go to work, you set that hour. Most of the time you'll find out when that alarm goes off, you're probably, just playing around, probably on your phone, BSing, reading some emails, scrolling on your phone, whatever, not really paying attention. And what you'll see is you do that for a couple of days, you'll start to discover how time goes by so quickly. So you think, right, oh, I need more time. I don't have time, yada, yada. But you find out that, okay, man, I've literally been on my phone. Every hour I checked my phone. Every hour I checked what I was doing. I was on my phone scrolling through Facebook, and what you can do is you can replace those things. It makes you become aware. I have on my phone every week, I get a notification on like how much time I spent on my phone, and I'll go through and see exactly what I was on my phone doing. Right. So if I go through, it's like your average daily time is 6 hours. I'm like, damn, like I'm on the phone way too much. Maybe I need to go off my phone and focus on these different things. Right. But one of the things that really helped me was the time audit. So I had to shout out my man Jesse for that. I love the time audit. And that's something I highly, highly recommend people to do.
you got to, because I mean we waste so much time doing the little things. It's like, I mean, everything we do. I mean, like this comes out for us in the world. Say like iPhone and like being able to stream TV. It's all of these things are set to distract us,
Yep.
and that's you have to limit the distractions. That's what I've kind of come to learn, right? Limiting the distractions, even, things that go on in your mind, you being your own worst enemy. You can't let things distract you, and you got to stick to the task, right? Especially if you want to be successful, or if you want to go after your goals and passions, right? You have to be able to limit the distractions, because we get distractions so easily now, right? Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. I mean, being on your phone those 6 hours in a day. I mean, that's a lot, bro. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you're not working on your phone, then I mean, and that time is not blocked out, you could easily be wasting time throughout the day.
Yeah.
And so having those time blocks is, I mean, that's major for
Bro.
success.
There was a time where literally I spent a lot of time on my phone. And granted, obviously, with real estate, there's a lot of time I've spent on the phone and things like that. But if you scroll through and you see most of my time has been on Facebook, you ain't networking on Facebook for 3 hours a day. You know what I mean? So like
Right.
what I ended up doing is I set I delete. Sometimes whenever you're doing, if you're not, when you become really, really focused on things, sometimes you have to do some things that would be looked at as extreme. Maybe is,
Right.
maybe not. I deleted social media. I deleted all the apps. It was like, I'm staying away from this because it has a hold on me. I'm almost like addicted to checking my phone and scrolling for a little bit, right? When I'm bored and not doing anything, my first instinct, check on my phone and scroll. So completely deleted it. When I got it, it probably went for about, I don't know, like 90 days or so without it, came back. Then I instantly downloaded like app blockers, right? So you have set times that you set on there. So it's like, all right, after 20 minutes, that's all I get for a day on Facebook, right? Unless I'm doing something else. And that was something that's something that helped me and something that was extremely beneficial.
Oh yeah, for sure, bro. I mean, you gotta be able to manage that time, man, or it can get away from you. You know,
Yeah.
and like eating out every day. If you don't know no better, you can waste all your money eating out.
Yep, $5 a Subway every day go a long way, man. Turning about $200, $300 at the end of the month.
Hey, now think about if it's $15 or
Yeah.
$20. You know what I'm saying? So like, hey, it all adds up, man. So understanding that those time slots and being able to prioritize, bros, like I say, that's just, man.
Yeah. And the last thing I really wanted to add about this, man, is while you're at work, because that's why I feel like we spend most of our time anyway at work, right? And I think it is key to understand most people, and I want to say, probably about 80 to 90% of people, there is no way that you are at your job, you are working 9 to 5 straight, just going at it, right? You're not. Just be honest with that. You're not doing that. We all have free time. We all have times we're taking breaks. We all have times that we're BSing and just doing tasks that really don't make any sense. Like my go-to is if I'm bored at work, I'm going to go answer some more emails that really don't need to be answered, right? Or I'll scroll through and maybe find myself organizing random things. What I had to do is get serious, man. Let me go to work, set 3 things that need to get done for the day, knock out those 3. And once those three things are done, unless I have any other pending mandatory task or anything like that, I will focus my time and effort on growing my business or growing myself, whether that is me listening to a podcast and studying that, while I'm at the desk or things like that. So long as I accomplish my goals, right? And that's a good way for us to not fall behind, is to set those 3 things, those 3 big tasks that we want to knock out when you come in the morning. Knock out the hardest things first, so that way you can spend the rest of your day focused on growing you. And you'll find that that's something that has kind of been like the key to success in my short military career. Is I go to work, I do what needs to get done, and then I focus on building myself and building my business. And I think you'll find people really do kind of appreciate that, and you'll start to see yourself separate yourself from your peers because you are getting things done that a lot of us wait till the last minute or wait till deadlines to get done. You're getting it done, knocking it out first, so that way you can focus your time and effort on different areas.
Oh, for sure, bro. I mean, hit it right on the head, man. I mean, because like I said, I remember my days at corporate America, and of course, you're not doing work the whole 8-9 hours. I mean, but I would be listening to audiobooks every day, right, and just learning and being a constant learner. And I think those financial books kind of paid off. You know what I'm saying? Because now, I kind of understand money. I kind of understand the economy. I know how things work, right, and to going to the place where I want to go. So it's just, I mean, time management is just, like I said, it's just a beautiful thing, or it could be not a beautiful thing. It depends. You have to be aware of it.
Yeah, man. And I would say in closing, I put together some book recommendations that I've read. I think that have been helpful for all these 5 things, man. Number 1, we've talked about it before, but Atomic Habits. again, setting, clear, teaches you how to build habits, man. And it's a really good book for anybody who is looking to build habits. Number 2, The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. Have you read that one?
Man, no, I have not, but
Okay.
I've heard a lot about it. I've done Atomic Habits and the Compound Effect.
Okay, yeah, that was on there too. 4-Hour Work Week, man. It basically just talks about how you can focus on working smarter, not harder, and how you can use your time to build the life you want, not like the career that you need. So literally within the book, it talks about, and it's crazy. It literally talks about hiring a virtual assistant to do all the mundane tasks or the little tasks that you don't need to be focused on, or the efforts that you don't need to be focused on. And that can be both at work, and that can be, within your business as well too. A VA is a virtual assistant. The 4-Hour Work Week is an amazing
Dog, can you
book.
hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
I can't hear you.
I think you still there? I think you might have blanked out.
I don't know, for some odd reason.
Yeah. But yeah, 4-Hour Work Week is a solid book. And then what I would say for the last book there is the Compound Effect, which literally just talks about you building habits upon habits, being consistent with it. And as you build upon those, again, just slowly increasing and bettering yourself. But yeah, that's all we got for today. Thank you guys for all who you tuned in. If you guys have any topics or anything like that you want us to focus on, we will. The one that we're going to do in the next 2 weeks is going to be real estate specific. So if you haven't been tuning in, tune in. And if you have been tuning in, reach out to somebody else who you think that this would add value to. And just let us know what you guys want to hear about, man. We'll talk about anything, 100% open books over here. Y'all out there, have a good day.
Yeah, man. Y'all be good. Peace.